okay? I need to tell you something about tomorrow that I genuinely believe could change everything for you, and I know that sounds dramatic, but hear me out. January the 2nd isn't just another day. Tomorrow, Chiron goes direct in Aries, and I really think this is one of those moments where the universe hits the reset button on your deepest wounds. Like, the stuff you've been carrying since 2018, maybe even your whole life, is about to shift in ways that honestly might feel impossible right now. And if you've been feeling this strange heaviness lately, like you're carrying something you can't even name, stay with me on this one. There's a very specific reason that's happening, and I'm going to explain exactly what's going on later in this video. But first, I want you to understand something. This isn't just another planetary movement. I believe what's happening tomorrow is the final exam before the biggest astrological shifts of 2026, and most people have absolutely no idea what's coming. So let me break this down for you, because once you understand what's really happening, you won't be able to unsee it. The universe just gave you permission to stop apologizing for who you are. Here's what I've been realizing lately, and honestly, it hit me like a ton of bricks. Since July, when Chiron went retrograde, we've all been in this intense internal review process. Like, the universe basically forced us to look at our deepest wounds and insecurities. Has that been happening for you? And tomorrow, when Chiron stations direct at 22 degrees Aries, I believe that internal work is done, the review is over. Now it's time to actually use what we've learned. But here's what's really getting my attention. The way this is happening, Mars, which rules Aries and therefore rules this entire Chiron transit, is in Capricorn right now. And that's not just a minor detail. Mars in Capricorn is exalted. It's at its absolute strongest, most disciplined, most strategic position. So what does that mean for you? I think it means the healing that's available tomorrow isn't some fleeting emotional release. This is structural. This is permanent. This is the kind of healing that actually builds a new foundation for your entire life. Does that resonate? And if you've been feeling like you need to constantly explain yourself, justify your existence, or apologize for taking up space, I really want you to pay attention to what I'm about to say. Because that specific wound, it's about to transform into your greatest strength. Your biggest wound is actually a valuable load you've been hiding. So there's this really interesting detail about tomorrow that I think changes everything. The exact degree where Chiron stations has what's called a Sabian symbol. Basically, it's like a cosmic message for that specific point in the sky. And tomorrow's symbol, it's about a woman in pastel colors carrying a heavy and valuable load that's veiled. When I first read that, I got chills, because isn't that exactly what we do with our wounds? We carry them like they're heavy burdens, but we hide them, we veil them, we don't let anyone see what we're really dealing with. But here's what I think the universe is trying to tell us. That heavy thing you're carrying, it's not trash, it's treasure. The wound that's been weighing you down is actually valuable. It's just been hidden, veiled, kept secret. And tomorrow, I believe you're going to start understanding why. Think about it. The things that wounded you most deeply are also the things that taught you the most. The pain that nearly broke you is also what made you wise. The isolation you experienced is what taught you how to stand alone, right? And here's where it gets really interesting. I believe there are 3 specific wounds that are transforming tomorrow, 3 deep patterns that have been running your life since Chiron entered Aries in 2018. And once you recognize which one is yours, everything starts to make sense. The first wound, you've been apologizing for existing. This one runs so deep, most people don't even realize they have it. It's the feeling that your very existence is somehow an imposition on others. Like you have to earn the right to be here. Like you need to constantly prove your worth just to justify taking up space. If that's you, you might notice yourself over-explaining everything, shrinking in public spaces, feeling this nameless guilt just for being alive, always needing to be productive or helpful to feel like you deserve to exist. Has that been your experience? And here's what I think is happening tomorrow. That cycle is breaking. The constant need for validation, the endless apologizing, the feeling like you're a mistake. I believe it's all dissolving. Because the truth that's emerging is this: you don't need permission to exist. You never did. The superpower that's emerging from this wound is what I'd call sovereignty, not the loud, performative confidence of an insecure ego, but the quiet, unshakable presence of someone who knows their worth. You stop asking for permission to take up space and you just take it. You fill the room with your presence, and honestly, when that shift happens, the universe starts responding differently to you. Opportunities appear, people are drawn to you, because the frequency of self-worth is magnetic. I've been watching this pattern in myself, and it's wild how much changes when you stop apologizing for who you are. When you realize that the valuable load you're carrying is your actual essence, your soul, your unique perspective. And that's exactly what the world needs from you. The second wound, your anger became your prison. Okay, so this one is intense, but stay with me. Chiron in Aries often creates this split in how we handle anger and conflict. Some of us became militant people-pleasers, absolutely terrified of any confrontation. We suppressed our anger so completely that we forgot we even had it, right? Others went the opposite way, carrying this chip on the shoulder, exploding in defensive rage at the smallest trigger because everything feels like a threat. Both responses come from the same wound. The warrior function got damaged. We either can't access our fight or we can't turn it off. But here's what's beautiful about tomorrow. With Mars exalted in Capricorn, I believe this reactive pattern is being replaced by strategic discipline. The anger isn't disappearing, it's being transformed into fuel, into power, into the ability to build rather than destroy. The superpower emerging here is what I'd call the sacred warrior. You know how to fight, but you choose peace until action is absolutely necessary. You can say no without raising your voice. You can hold boundaries without explaining yourself. You can engage in conflict without losing your center. And honestly, this is such a needed transformation right now, because the world doesn't need more people who are afraid to stand up for anything, and it definitely doesn't need more reactive rage. What we need are people who can stay centered in chaos, who can lead through crisis without adding to the drama, who know their power and use it wisely. If you've been struggling with either extreme, the paralyzed will or the destructive rage, tomorrow is offering you a middle path, a way to reclaim your warrior energy without letting it control you. Does that make sense? The third wound, being different, made you feel like an exile. This might be the loneliest wound of all. It's the feeling of being the black sheep, the outsider, the one who never quite fits. Aries is the sign of the pioneer, and pioneers are always alone at first. They have to be. They're going where no one else has gone. Because when you're a kid, being different doesn't feel like pioneering. It feels like exile. It feels like punishment. So we learn to dim our light, conform, hide the parts of ourselves that stand out too much. We develop this deep fear that if we're too unique, too bold, too ourselves, the tribe will abandon us. Has that been your story? Here's what I think is shifting tomorrow. You're going to realize the isolation wasn't punishment. It was preparation. You had to carry that veiled load alone because the collective wasn't ready to understand it yet. But now it's time. The superpower emerging from this wound is what's called mutic leadership. It's a fancy word, but it basically means you become someone who helps others give birth to their own potential. Your difference becomes a beacon for others who are also lost. By walking the path alone first, you create a trail others can follow. You stop trying to fit into existing circles and start building new ones, communities based on shared vision rather than shared history, connections based on authenticity rather than conformity. And the beautiful part? The very thing that made you feel like an outsider becomes the thing that helps others find their way home. I've been seeing this pattern everywhere lately. The black sheep are becoming the leaders, the weirdos are becoming the way showers, and if that's you, tomorrow is your moment to stop hiding and start leading. Something even bigger is coming, and this is just the beginning. Okay, so here's the part that really has my attention. This Chiron station isn't happening in isolation. It's actually the opening move in what I believe is going to be one of the most intense astrological years we've ever experienced. Later this month, Neptune enters Aries for the first time since 1861. Then in February, Saturn follows. These are massive generational shifts that are going to completely restructure how we understand identity, spirituality, and authority. And here's what I think. If we don't do this Chiron work now, if we don't transmute these wounds into superpowers, we're not going to be ready for what's coming. The Chiron station tomorrow is like the universe giving us one last chance to heal before the real intensity begins. Think of it like this: Chiron is preparing the container. It's making sure you're strong enough, clear enough, sovereign enough to handle the massive influx of energy that's about to hit. Because when Neptune and Saturn enter Aries, it's going to be like a fire hose of transformation. And if you haven't done the work, if you're still carrying those old wounds, it could be overwhelming. But if you use tomorrow's energy, if you let these wounds transform into strengths, you'll be ready. You'll have the sovereignty to handle Neptune's dissolution. You'll have the warrior energy to work with Saturn's pressure. You'll have the leadership to guide others through the chaos. This is why I really believe tomorrow is so crucial. It's not just about healing the past, it's about preparing for the future. And honestly, I don't think we fully understand yet how big this shift is going to be. The strange physical symptoms that mean it's already starting. Have you been feeling it in your body? The pressure in weird places, maybe your palms, the back of your head, between your shoulder blades. Not pain exactly, just this steady pressure like something is pushing from the inside out. I've been experiencing this myself, and from what I understand, these might be energy centers activating, places in your body that have been dormant, suddenly coming online. And if that sounds too out there, I get it. But is it really a coincidence that so many of us are feeling the exact same sensations in the exact same places right now? Or maybe you've been extra sensitive lately. Crowds feel overwhelming, loud noises are unbearable, even scrolling on your phone feels like too much. I don't think that's anxiety. I think your frequency is shifting and your nervous system is recalibrating to match it. Some people are waking up at weird hours, especially between 2 and 4 in the morning. Others are having incredibly vivid dreams or getting downloads of information that seem to come from nowhere. Time might feel weird, speeding up and slowing down randomly. You might zone out for long periods without realizing it. All of this, I believe, is your system preparing for tomorrow's shift. Your body knows something big is coming, even if your mind hasn't caught up yet. And if you've been feeling any of this, you're definitely not alone. We're all going through this together. How to work with this energy tomorrow. So what do you actually do with all this? How do you make sure you're working with this energy instead of against it? First, I really think you need to get clear on which wound is yours. Is it the existence wound, the feeling that you don't deserve to be here? Is it the warrior wound, the inability to access or control your anger? Or is it the isolation wound, the fear of being too different? Once you know which one resonates most, spend some time tomorrow actually feeling it, not wallowing in it, but acknowledging it. Thank it even. Because that wound, as painful as it's been, has taught you everything you know about that area of life. It's made you wise in ways you couldn't have become any other way. Then, and this is the important part, consciously choose to let it transform. Visualize that heavy load you've been carrying. See it clearly. Feel its weight. And then imagine removing the veil. Imagine seeing that what you've been carrying isn't a burden at all. It's treasure, it's medicine, it's exactly what the world needs from you. Some people might want to do a ritual. Light a candle for the Aries fire. Hold a stone to represent the valuable load. Say out loud, "This load is heavy, but it's mine. It's valuable. I no longer hide it. I carry it with honor." Then put the stone somewhere you'll see it every day, as a reminder that your wound has become your foundation. But honestly, the most important thing is just being conscious of what's happening. Knowing that tomorrow isn't just another day. It's a threshold, a turning point. The moment when wounds become wisdom, when pain becomes power, when everything you've been through starts to make sense. You won't be the same person after tomorrow. I really believe that when you wake up on January 3rd, something fundamental will have shifted. It might be subtle at first, you might not even notice it right away, But as the days go on, you're going to realize you're moving differently through the world. That constant need for validation, it'll be quieter, the fear of conflict, less paralyzing, the feeling of being an outsider. It might actually start to feel like freedom rather than exile. You'll catch yourself responding differently to old triggers, setting boundaries without the guilt, taking up space without the apology, being yourself without the explanation. And people are going to notice. They might not be able to put their finger on it, but they'll sense something has changed. You're more solid somehow, more real, more you. This is what I think Chiron's gift is. Not the erasure of our wounds, but their transformation. Not forgetting our pain, but alchemizing it into power. Not hiding our differences, but recognizing them as our unique medicine for the world. Tomorrow marks the end of a cycle that began in 2018. Everything you've been through, every challenge you've faced, every wound that's been activated, it's all been preparation for this moment, for this transformation, for stepping into the version of yourself that can handle what's coming in 2026. Because make no mistake, we're heading into uncharted territory. The astrological weather of this year is going to be intense, but if you do this work, if you let these wounds become superpowers, you'll be ready. More than ready. You'll be exactly who you need to be. Alright, if you've made it this far, thank you so much for being here with me. If this resonated with you and you want to see more content like this, I'd really appreciate it if you hit that subscribe button. It genuinely helps me reach more people who need to hear this, and please drop a comment below. I really want to know which wound resonated most with you. Are you feeling the sovereignty emerging? The warrior awakening? The leader stepping forward? I read every single comment and I love connecting with you all. Take care of yourself tomorrow. Be gentle but also be ready. This is your moment, and I'll see you in the next one.